Peace family, Hotep. Um, it's Nefuratum for those, it's in the morning, so but just wanted to just have like a good idea, a good talk with the family of just we always deal with relationships. I talk about it a lot, and it's not to actually talk about anyone in particular at all. It's just my idea of from a man's perspective. We don't hear too many from a man's perspective about what is maybe a requirement or what he feels is dear to his heart. And for me, I think what's dear to me is someone who is just understanding first off and able to communicate properly with the individual of whatever's going on in their life. I think that's extremely important, and I think that, let's say that relationship progresses into something, you actually have children and everything like that. If something was to happen to you, you know that they're going to be able to, let's say if something happens to me, I'm a man, so the woman that I want in my life, the sister that I want, is someone that I know is going to take care of the children the same way that we both would have done if we were both together, if we were both there. So I think that's extremely important too, as opposed to you get with somebody because they may look good and they may feel good to be with, but then next thing you know, you're no longer there, and they change the whole structure of how you set up the foundation to be. And I don't think anyone should want that. That's why when people say religion doesn't matter, I say that's false. I say because you don't want to be with anybody. You can be of African consciousness, and then you get with a Christian or whatever, and they just totally throw away everything that you put together based upon just their own opinions, or they were never really a part of it anyway. They were just a part of you. And once you were out of the picture, and they were left with the children, then they begin to raise in the way they want to. I never want anything like that. And that's why I always wanted someone that at least had the same ideology as me, whether they were Nawapi or whether they were just African conscious. I don't look at it from that much of a dogmatic perspective anymore. I look at it from, I know that if something would happen to me, she would be the goddess that would take it to the next level with the children. That's how I look at things. Yeah. So that's the type of sister that I want to have in my cipher, is someone that is understanding again, and someone that can kind of get where I want to be, and me to support her where she wants to be. I made a post about having to, I guess, date again and whatever, and I think people took it to a negative connotation. It wasn't meant to be taken like that. It was just, hey, I've been focusing on myself. I've been talking to, just been doing my thing, and just trying to focus on myself and get myself right financially. And so so I can be right, as opposed to have to worry about someone saying I'm not even put together to even have someone in my life. I did that. So that's the reason why I made that statement. And I think people automatically, I think because of the way I said it, it was like, well, let's see how this goes. Not coming from a negative, no, I said this should be interesting. So I wasn't coming from a negative connotation at all. It was just, this is my perspective. But I think people automatically want to assume that this is the way you're coming, so then they want to dictate and control and mentor the way they see fit that you should go. At the end of the day, it's up to you. It's completely up to you. However you choose to do anything in your life, how you choose to live, how you choose to do anything, but just have some form of, decorum about it and be respectful. I think my thing also is about being respectful amongst each other's space, and time. Time is so valuable. Time is more valuable than anything else on the planet. It's time. What you do with that time dictates where you're going to be. And I've learned that too. It's all about time. How that person values your time, values my time in particular, is how I will value them, and how I will look at them, and how much I will respect them because they respected me, because they respected my time. I think time is so important. That is the most important thing. I keep saying that because it's so important. So I think that we have to have a good idea of what we want. I said one time I said in the class that relationships should begin with mission statements. And the sister said she never heard that before. I said, I'm sure you haven't. Because people come into relationships for a lot of different reasons. Some of them are in a relationship with someone just because they have kids together. I don't think you should do that. I think that you should establish a relationship where it's in unison with the two. I don't even have kids, but this is just what I would want if it didn't work out, is that I'm able to still be a part of the children's life, and we have, a civil situation together, as opposed to hating each other. I'm not into hating anybody or whatever. If you found someone else that vibrates on your frequency the way you want to go, I may be too far out, far out with what I want to do, and you might want to be more low ground. Go with that person, but just don't push a person away from their children. Don't push a man away from their children. I think that's very demonic, and that has further ramifications when you see how a child becomes, or what that child becomes. It's not cool to do that, But again, as I said last week, these are just my opinions and my thoughts, and my points of views on things. But this is also me. And I think people, this is what I do right now is not going to be as structured as the conference call classes that I do every Wednesday, every Saturday. My Saturday lectures that's at Palm Center Library that I always do. I want to do shout outs right now. Shout outs to my man Howard Trailer. We want to talk about day one friends. He's been day one for me for a long time, since high school. Shout out to my man Muhammad, lives in Dallas. Another day one brother that I know for a long time, always kept it real with me regardless. Friend for life, man. And Nubia Damali, my mom, my family, New York family. As crazy as we are, we all gotta get it together at some point too. And just whoever that wants to listen has open mind to what I have to say. Alright, I'm gonna say Hotep, family.